Hi guys, in this video we will be talking about a career as a farm manager, and more specifically we will be talking about a description of the field, industry profile, entry qualifications, your interests, lifestyle, location, career paths, salaries, skills needed, job outlook, and we will give you, or I will give you, more tips that can be helpful if you find this career interesting. So if you want to know more, just stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome again to #career goals, and my name is Veronica Alfonso for the ones that don't know me, and you are in the right place if you want someone to help you discover the right career for you by helping you do some research for you and also bringing some interviews that I think might be helpful for you in this journey. So before we start, I just want to let you know something. I'm not a farm manager, of course. I'm not a specialist in this. I studied a completely different thing. I just did this video because I was basing myself on some research, and I think that this information can just help you wake up this curiosity maybe, and just help you consider if this career is something that you might like and that you might be willing to do as a career in the future. The research that I did it online, and I also did it with this book, the Careers Handbook. Here you can find a bunch of different careers and it tells you basically all the points that I'm going to be talking about, but I also did some more research to bring you more information, and I based myself on what other people said as well, not only on what's on the book. So this is why I think it's super cool to watch the video as well. So let's start with the description of the field. I will be reading in my computer here. I have it just right next to me, but I will also be commenting. So if you see me looking at this screen here, at this side here, then you know that I'm just looking at my screen. So first of all, for the description of the field, you have to know that this person, a farm manager, will be responsible for ensuring that livestock, dairy, arable, or mixed farms run smoothly and generate profit. So basically you are going to be that person that makes sure that everyone is doing their job, that every single thing that has to go right goes right, and you are managing not only people, you're managing also the suppliers, you're managing outside people that might be working with you. So it's a whole business that you have to manage, and the most important thing about the business to keep it running is to make sure that you are going on profit, that you are generating profit. So this is something that goes on you, and you are the person that has to make it happen, basically. In the description of the field, I also found really helpful to include some of the duties that you will have to perform if you are being a farm manager, and those are using machinery. You have to know how to use the machinery properly if you want to know if the people that is working in the farm or in the state is doing this right. If you have to know how to do it if someone falls sick and you have to fill in for them. It's basically you are the boss, and you have to know how to operate this to be able to know if it's done right. Also, you have to know how to move animals. Same story here. Planning crop rotations, managing the business. Managing the business is really important here, because being a farm manager is not only about the practical part of just planting and harvesting and doing cool stuff with the soil and the plants and the animals. You also have to make sure that you know how to make the business thrive, that you know how to make sure that your product is being sold, that you are making the best product possible, that you know if this is actually the product that is being that's on demand out there. So it is important that you have both sides of the business on your mind. Also, it's really important that you know that other conditions for a successful business depend on the local climate. You have to know what what your product is going to be depending on the local climate. Also, the soil conditions and the public's demand for your product. Like I mentioned before, you have to know if this is a region where people really want to consume whatever it is that you are producing in your farm. And also you have to know about the contracts with supermarkets, food companies, and other customers, and you have to make sure that you are operating under certain conditions, or you have to know that you are making sure that the conditions that you are operating under are something that you can manage in your business. That's something that either way is going to make your business thrive. So let's go into the industry profile. First of all, you have to know that the industry is changing due to new technology coming out every day that helps optimize the business. And this is something that is not only happening in farm managing, it's also happening in every other business. Technology is just making things faster and better for the most part, and you have to make sure that you are using it for your advantage, and you are also on top of trends, and you're knowing what's going on out there and what is the best technology for your farm, for your estate. So one example that was on the book, this one, that I found really cool was the precision techniques like GPS guided crop sowing, which is super cool because basically GPS is telling you what to do and where to do it. So this is the kind of stuff that we didn't have, 20 years ago, and that just makes life easier nowadays. And you have to make sure that you are resilient enough and that you are flexible enough to make sure that you are using technology in the best way possible to make your business the best business that you can. Also, farm managers might be employed by landowners or work their own land. So it's possible that you work on your own farm, on your own estate, and you make a business out of it, or it's also possible to get a job in farms and estates that are already there and that need the experience of a farm manager. So you not only have to specialize in one type of farming, you can broaden your knowledge and areas of expertise. So you don't have to only focus on one thing. This is not like these careers where it's required or it's better if you know one type of thing or you're specialized in only one thing. You can also here know about different things. So you can have a mixed farm with animals and with plants and sowing. So it's not only about one thing here. The job opportunities that you might have here are on estates, farm management firms, food companies, and also opportunities for self-employment. Like we mentioned before, it's possible that you can have your own land, and we will talk about this also further along in the video. It's possible to be a consultant as well. It's possible to work on projects for farms, and you would be here a freelancer. You will be a self-employed person. You are not there as an employee that is basically running everything for the farm. So the entry qualifications, what do you need to start in this industry? So you can secure a job only based on work experience, but usually a related degree would be generally preferred and also give you professional knowledge about the field. I think this is one of these careers where if you have a degree, it's not only about the certificate, but it's also about the experience and the professional knowledge that you got to collect while you were studying. So probably when you are studying, you will have to do a lot of internships, but as well you will have to learn from a lot of professionals and people that are teaching in a university and in an institute. So that's really helpful afterwards to just not only base yourself on experience, but also base yourself on what's on the books, what are the research out there, and what are the things that make you a better professional. So this is one of those kind of degrees that I personally find really helpful. So let's talk about the interests. What do you have to be interested in, or what's usually what you should be interested in if you want to enter this industry, or if you want to be a farm manager more specifically. So you have to be interested in agriculture, animal welfare, the natural world, environmental science, biology, information technology, like we mentioned, to be on top of trends and knowing what are the technologies that can make your business better, and also on exports. Exports was really interesting because you not only, I mean, it depends on the farm that you're working on and that you're working in, but if you are also interested in exporting your product, this is something that you might be also keen on studying, or that you might be interested in studying and having some experience. Now, lifestyle. So usually here people have to wake up pretty early. This is something that I was watching in a YouTube video. They said like there was this guy and he was working in the farm, and he was like, if you don't like waking up early, I don't know if this is the job for you. So think about that. The work can be very seasonal, so you have to know about that. I mean, you have to harvest, you have to plant, you have to do certain things in certain times of the year. So you have to know that you might be working more in certain seasons, in certain months, and then the job can be a bit more relaxed. But it's like you have some peaks during the year. So you can be also expected to put in very long hours at harvesting and lambing times. For example, this is something that is just the way it is. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you want. Sometimes you have different conditions that you cannot control, like climate and so on. And it's just that you have to do it that day, and of course you probably are going to have a group of people and a team that's going to help you, but it's something that you have you also should keep in mind, that you might be just required to stay longer. But I don't see this much different as other managers, you know. I mean, in every single job, probably if you are responsible for the business, you are responsible for what the results are, you are ultimately going to put in some more hours. So I don't think this is something we should be so scared about. Also, one thing that I wanted to mention is that if you are the manager and the person that is going to be making sure that everything runs smoothly, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna get your hands dirty. So, and this is something that I actually put in there, I throw in there just to make sure that you don't are going into this industry with the wrong idea, that this is just gonna be an office job. I mean, if like I mentioned before, if someone is falling sick, you might be required to just operate the machinery, or you might be required to move the animal. So you have to like that. This is something that has to go as part of the job for you. So let's talk a bit more about the location. Where are you gonna work when you are a farm manager? So usually it's a mix. You are going to have to work in the field, you have to work with the animals, but also probably you will have to spend a lot of time in the office, because the administrative tasks just require that. You have to do them in an office. You cannot just be under the rain or out there in the field and trying to do some work on your computer. It's not comfortable, I guess. So you have to also put in some hours in the office. You have to carry out practical work on a farm, like I just said, moving animals or operating machinery. And also probably you are required to travel to other sites if you need it. I mean, if this is a huge farm and it's a huge company, probably you are going to be required to just go to other sites and see what's going on there. Also to agricultural shows, if you want to make sure your brand and your company is known, probably you have to go to shows or visit potential clients to explore business opportunities. This is just probably required, and traveling is just there. So I wanted to take a moment to just remind you to subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell, because we are uploading one video every single week. And for the following weeks, I just want to make sure I upload many videos like this that can just help you consider other types of career that might not have popped into your head before. And this is really good, I think, for a person that doesn't know what to do, hasn't picked up the career that they want to have yet, because it's important that you make sure that you are exploring as much as you can. So make sure you hit the bell and subscribe, and also like the video if you like it, and also comment below. I mean, let me know what you think about this video, if you're thinking about a career in farm manager and why. I really like to know why. So another interesting thing is career paths. Some career paths can be on an entry level farm assistant. You can do this straight out of school or college to gain experience that can help you apply for a management training later on. So this is really cool because, I mean, it's not different than any other job. It's just in a farm, but any other job probably is going to require that you do some internships, volunteering, you collect experience. So in this job, it's the same. I mean, you have to get some experience, have some resume that you can just show somewhere and say, okay, now I can apply for training to be a manager. It's not easy to be a manager. It's not easy to have the whole responsibility on your shoulders. So this is why getting some experience at the beginning can be really helpful for you. So after you have had some experience in the field and you know a bit about farming and estates and you know your thing a little bit and you feel comfortable out there, you can also apply as to be a trainee manager. Prior experience on the field is required to join a management training. So usually, of course, like I just said, if you want to apply for a management training for someone that's going to be having a lot of responsibility, they want you to have some experience. Also, you can be a graduate. You can get a management training certificate or diploma, usually after having a degree in agriculture or farm business management, after collecting some experience in the field. So basically, you can, of course, go for the professional journey and you can just get a degree and have some experience in that part, which I already mentioned. I think that for this particular career could be really helpful as well. A combination of them both, of experience and really good professional knowledge, like research knowledge and some experience from other people that are just more on an academic side of the field, can be really good for you. So once you reached your goal as a farm manager, don't forget to always stay up to date with new technologies and skills by constantly taking part-time courses, seminars, or workshops so you know what's going on out there and how you can use it to your advantage. So you can also get specialized as an estate manager and you can supervise and manage the maintenance of the grounds and outbuildings and also the financial legal affairs of farms and estates. That's why in the video, like I was mentioning estates, because this is something that's also a specialization that you can have and that you can just go through that journey and you can end up more specialized in estate. Another specialty can be agronomist. Agronomists study the numerous ways plants can be cultivated, genetically altered, and utilized to our advantage. Most focus on increasing the quality and quantity of plants produced, but particularly for food stores. So basically they make sure that they're optimizing the plants that are cultivated, and they're also even genetically altering them to make sure that we get as much as possible and the best quality possible. So just go more into detail in that and just do some research, but because I'm just like probably just butchering here whatever agronomists are doing, but just this is one of the options that you have. So agricultural consultant, I mentioned this in like some minutes ago in the video, and basically what they do is that they solve agricultural problems and provide technical advice and support to farmers, growers, and government agencies. So this is the person that they call if they have a problem and they don't really know what to do, and maybe it's a huge project or it's a small project, but you have more expertise in this. Also, there is agricultural sales executive, and basically this person sells, promotes, and sometimes trains farmers in the use of agricultural products like machinery or fertilizers. Practical experience in farming is here very useful. I mean, most of the times, because of course, you know, to know how to sell something, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to just be confident in what you are selling. So it's preferable if you have some experience here. So let's talk about the salaries, and this is something that many people are interested in. And I just want to make sure that you know that it depends a lot on the city, on the way you are negotiating your contract, on the industry, the position, in this case, the product that you are producing. It depends a lot on the model of the business. So salaries, I mean, it's really hard for me to say one number here, and I just constantly get these comments that, oh, you have to say one particular number, you have to tell us how much it is. And it's hard because for every single industry, for every single product that you might be building, for every single city, from city to city, it can vary. So just make sure you are doing some research here. But I still brought you something so you can know more or less in the US and so on. Just let's jump into my computer real quick so I can show you what I found. So this is the first website that I wanted to show you, careerexplorer.com. And if you see right there is farm manager salary, because I already looked it up. But if you want to find out more about other careers, you can also go up here on the menu to explore and then careers. So if we keep scrolling down, you can see that they just break down the whole salary thing for farm manager and give you more information, and even also tell you like the different salaries that you will find if you go as a senior level manager or a mid-level farm manager and so on. So you can have more information depending on the job description that you have, or depending on the experience, I guess. And yeah, it's just a lot of information here. It also breaks it down in farm, like by state, but of course, this is really relevant if you're living in the US or if you're planning to go to the US. So I'm just showing you the website here. Of course, I just wanted to show you as well that here on the right side you have more information like jobs, education, for further resources and so on. So if you want to keep exploring this website, I think it's really cool. And the second website that I like a lot is, of course, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. And here you can also find a whole tab for payment and for salaries. You have here a little graphic that just tells you a bit more about the median annual wages. But if you read the below here, below pay, you can see that the median annual wage for farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural managers was 71,000 in May 2019. Also, it's really interesting that they tell you here that the lowest 10% earned less than 37,530, and the highest 10% earned more than $132,000 a year. It's also very cool if you try to find out more about salaries. You can see that in the first website they said a different, like a slightly different salary, but as you can see, it's not something that is one number and that's it. I cannot just give you one number, and this is just in the US. I mean, if you're trying to find out about salaries in Europe and comparing them to the US, I mean, it's a completely different story. Also, I really like that they, like if you see here, incomes of farmers and ranchers vary from year to year because prices of farm products fluctuate with weather conditions and other factors. But they are also depending on government subsidies or other payments that reduce some of the risk of farming. So it is important that you know that farmers not only rely on their products and their profits, there are also other things that you can count on. So yeah, I just want to encourage you to go on websites, to read about it, to watch YouTube videos, and to just explore websites like this that can give you more specific information about the whole career and about the different aspects of the career. Let's talk about the skills that you need to thrive in this industry or as a farm manager. So first of all, you have to have high levels of stamina. You are going to be required to do some physical work. You have to also put in some like really hardcore muscle work here sometimes, probably not every day as a manager, but who knows, it might be for several days. So you have to know that you are going to be required to do some really hardcore work. And also I think it's mostly about the walking down there and here, and just making sure that you are checking everything, and you have to walk long distances and then sit on your computer and then go out again. And it's just going to be a back and forth thing. Also, high levels of resilience to work with different weather conditions. So it might be rainy one day, it might be sunny, it might be super hot or super cold. So, and you still have to go out there. So this is something that is going to be there. But if you are someone that really enjoys being outdoors, and that doesn't matter what kind of weather there is, you're still happy, it's okay. Also, good IT skills for monitoring supply levels and keeping accurate records. Also, leadership skills to be able to form an effective and productive team of farm workers and trainees. Remember, you're going to be working with a bunch of people, you're going to be managing them, so leadership skills are very useful, not only as a farm manager, but as any manager or as any leader. If you are in that kind of position, just make sure that you're reading books about it, you are training yourself for that particular job. And also business expertise to manage finances, plan budgets, and ensure that production targets are met. So also a bit about the job outlook. How is the future of this career? Let's see a bit about that. So I got this information from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. I think this is a really cool place to check out not only the job outlook, they have many more options that you can check out on careers, but one of the things that I find and that I really like to check here is the job outlook. So first of all, employment of farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural managers is projected to decline 6% from 2019 to 2029. So if you're considering a career as a farm manager, you might have to think about this. However, down below, I have some hope for you. So over the past several decades, increased efficiencies in crop production have led to consolidation and fewer but larger farms. So as farms become larger, they are able to invest more in productivity, enhancing technologies, reinforcing this effect. So the fact that there is more technology also concentrates the work and the wealth and the ownership of farms in a few people, and they're just being larger instead of many. So this is something that you might have to take into consideration, but don't be discouraged by this, because you just have to know then how to adapt to this. How is going to be the farm manager's position or a farm manager's job if they just have to work at a larger farm? It's just the reality of how things are, and maybe the things change in the future, but if not, then you just have to know how to adapt. If this is a career that you really like, I think that there's a lot of future in it as well. So this is the however that I was mentioning before. So despite projected employment declines, about 80,900 openings for farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural managers are projected each year, on average, over the decade. And this is because workers have to transfer to different occupations, or they have to exit the labor force, or they also retire. So there are openings going on here. It's possible. Don't be discouraged by the fact that the job outlook on paper or as a statistic is not the best. So my last part is about giving you some tips. And in this particular career, I just think that experience, first of all, is one of the main goals, one of the main things that you have to keep in mind. You have to just make sure that you have a lot of experience. Also, it could be good to not only specialize yourself or not only get your experience from one place. Just make sure that you do a bunch of internships in different kinds of farms and different kinds of estates. Also, maybe in different cultures, in different climates, in different regions, so you know exactly what kind of job as a farm manager you want, because it varies a lot from region to region, from climate to climate. I mean, if you think that you're gonna be someone that is way happier and is going to be way more fulfilled in a sunny area than in a gray area, or vice versa, then just go for that particular place. Don't kid yourself and just try it out, because there might be some things that you can also enjoy about other parts of the world and other regions and other climates. So just explore. That's one of my main tips. And another one is that I think you have to be on top of trends. And what I mean by that is that you have to know what are the technologies going out there, what are the proven things that are working for other farmers, for other companies and businesses, so you can also know how to optimize to be able to stay in the game, to be able to just make your business competitive against others. And this is going to be the ultimate thing. Who gets to have the best product by having the best technology and making sure that the resources are used for their advantage. And one thing that I think it's really important and that can give you maybe one advantage, not so sure, but this is something that you might be able to do some research about, is exports. Exports in the farming, like in the farming industry, for the farming industry, how does this work? Maybe this is something that you can specialize in, or that you can have as a plus in your resume, that you know about exports. It has a lot of theory in it, and you have to know a lot about legal things, and you have to know how is it possible that people are exporting to certain areas and why not to another area, and also the taxes that have to be involved. So there are a lot of things that you have to know in exports, and how to make sure that everything is packaged properly. And yeah, there's a lot going on in here. So I really, like you can tell I'm not an expert in this, but this is something that I just saw online in one of the articles that I read, and that I thought could be a really cool thing to just keep in mind for you guys if you are interested in this. So once again, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, to hit the bell to be notified when we upload the next video. Also follow us on social media, on Instagram and on Twitter as well. And just comment below. This is one of the things that I really enjoy, just to know if you enjoyed the video, if you liked it, what you would like to see next. And yeah, just see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching again. Bye.